It's good to see you. I got a good amount of sleep last night, so I'm feeling my hair is there. I'm feeling hyped. I got cute little bows in my hair. I'm ready to go. We are gonna do something like so different today that I'm really excited for because I've never done it. We're gonna rank characters. I did steal this idea from Brandon Glovich. If you don't know who that is, go check him out. He's amazing, great content creator. If you like Kingdom Hearts, you're in the right place. He did Smash or Pass on all of the Heartless ever, and I was like, that's so funny, I should do that. But then because we're playing Crisis Core, I was like, wait a minute. We are ranking the Final Fantasy VII characters based on how gay they are. This came to me when I was sleep deprived and in the shower, and I was like, I can barely stay awake. That's what I need to do! And it's been in my mind ever since, and here we are. I just felt like it needed to be done, it needed to happen. All right, let's jump into it. I feel like the first thing we should start with, it's gotta be Cloud. What is Cloud Strife to us? Part of me thinks closeted. Part of me wants to put him in closeted because I feel like he's in denial. I feel like he's like, we kissed but my socks were on, so it's not gay. I feel like he's like, yeah, I sucked dick once, but it was behind an alley and nobody saw, and so it doesn't count. But I like women. Women are great. I like women. I think he's closeted bi. He's closeted bi, okay? He's not closeted gay. He's closeted bisexual. That's a very important distinctive to know. You know what I mean? He knows he likes women. He knows women are like a win for him. Like obviously like Aerith, Tifa, Jessie, you know what I mean? But he looks at men and he's like, whoa. He sees Reno's low-cut shirt and he looks a little bit too long. You know what I mean? Yeah, he's a boy kisser. He's a boy kisser 100%. Him and Zack shared some intimate moments and he was like, you know, like he liked it. He liked it a lot. But I think he comes from a small town, right? Nibelheim's a small country town, which means there's got to be a lot of internalized homophobia going on there. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like it's a small town, it's a country town. Nobody was accepting. He couldn't be himself. You know what I mean? I feel like even at a young age, Tifa was like, Cloud, it's okay. It's okay that we have a crush on the same guy. And he's like, but I don't like guys like that. But like he closes his eyes at night and he fantasizes. Okay, hold on. We should put okay, we're gonna make a lot of changes. We're gonna do closeted bi / ace. That's what Cloud is. Cloud is closeted bi / ace. That's what I think. Does he style his hair that way or wake up? That's important. He styles his hair that way. I fully believe this. He styles it. And that is the fruity part of him. You know what I mean? If you've played the games, especially the remakes, you know he puts a lot of effort into his appearance. You know, his hair, and his outfit, his gloves, like he's accessorizing. Okay, I wouldn't be surprised if he matches the materia colors in his sword to his outfit that day. He's like, maybe I need cure, but like, Thunder would look so good with these earrings that I'm wearing. But he would never admit it, you know what I mean? I do agree asexual. I think demi-romantic, personally. You know, he doesn't feel a romantic attraction unless there's a really strong emotional connection. Like, he might be like, oh, they're nice, but like, you know what I mean? I notice it, like he, you know, God, okay, hold on. We're gonna be making a lot of edits as we go. Yeah, closeted bi ace demi. I think that's exactly it. He's got a lot going on, but he doesn't know how to handle it, and he's having identity issues. He's in the closet for now. We're gonna help him. You know, I believe that like, you know, Tifa is the best for everybody, so I think that this could really be good for him. Like, you know, gonna help him come out. Yeah, he dreams about Sephiroth, and I believe that these dreams haunt him not just because of the Genova cells, because he dreams of Sephiroth and he's like, whoa, he's kind of hot. Whoa, wait, what? Well, and Sephiroth is kind of hot. If we're being completely fair, he is kind of hot. So, yeah, I think that, like, you know what I mean? He had these feelings for Zack and now the Sephiroth things. And I do wonder, because as we're playing Crisis Core, Zack and Sephiroth were kind of friends, you know what I mean? And I wonder if, like, being Zack and being in Zack's mind, but then now seeing Sephiroth, like, is he projecting feelings that he felt towards Zack from Zack onto you know what I mean? Oh my God, it's complicated. Cloud's complicated, you know what I mean? But he's definitely in the closet. If, for the only reason that he has no idea who he is. That's my opinion. All right, next we gotta go with Jessie. This is a hard one for me. Because I think Jessie is polyamorous. I do. I think her, actually we'll put them all in here. I think her, Biggs, and Wedge are in some kind of polyamorous relationship. Whether they know it or not. No, I think they do know it, and they want Cloud to be their fourth. And I'm gonna stand by that. I believe, Ryan, you should say it. I believe that, like, Jessie, Biggs, and Wedge in the first Final Fantasy remake, I think that they were all flirting with Cloud in their own separate way. They all got together and they were like, we're gonna try different tactics on Cloud to get him to fall in love with us, and we'll see which one works the best. You know what I mean? But the goal is he's not gonna fall in love with one of us. He's gonna fall in love with all of us. You know what I mean? And then we got the cats. They're gonna become a cat dad. You know what I mean? They were gonna get a house in the slums together. Like, they were envisioning a future with him. I think Tifa was a little bit like, guys, I don't know. And they were like, no, Tifa, don't worry. It's polyamorous Cloud Strife. Which I don't, if I was polyamorous and I saw Cloud Strife, I would also want him in my polycule. You know what I mean? Whether I was satisfied with my partners or not, I would just want Cloud Strife. If nothing else, for the interestingness of it. You know what I mean? There's never a boring day with Cloud Strife. There's never a moment where you're like, things are normal and peaceful. There's always something happening. Like, think about this. They live in the Midgar slums. They're part of a rebellious organization. You know, life's kind of monotonous. You know, we go, we do missions. What's the meaning of life? Whatever the fuck's going on with Cloud. That's what I'm saying. Sephiroth, his name was Daddy. Yeah. He also known as Daddy. I'm gonna say, go with Hojo first. Hojo's a straight man. Hojo's a disgusting straight man. Hojo uses 3-in-1 body wash, hair wash. Hojo does not clip his toenails. Hojo doesn't wash his face. I believe Hojo doesn't shower regularly because he gets into the, like, you know, the science experiments. Then he's like, no, I can't. You know what I mean? Like, that's what happens to him. He's straight derogatory. I don't think he's the only straight one here. I do think there are more straight people here. You know what? Wait a minute. What's like... no, I lied. I think he's asexual. Hear me. Wait a minute. I'm cooking. Okay, hear me out. He doesn't care about sex. He doesn't care about women or men. He cares about science. He never even loved Lucrezia. He just wanted to knock her up to make Sephiroth. And she's like, oh my god, I love you. And he's like, that's great, babe. And then, like, sprinkles a little Genova cells onto her belly, correct? Question mark. I think he's asexual. I think that, like, his ideal population is asexual reproduce. I mean, obviously we said that with, like, Genesis and everything, you know what I mean? Although that was Hollander, whatever, you get it. I believe he's asexual. I believe he's aromantic. I believe that he doesn't give a damn. He's an asshole, yes. But I truly believe that. I think he, oh my god, I'm so right. Yeah, he's Aero Ace. Hold on, we gotta put Aero Ace. We're gonna have to make so many of these categories, you guys, because I'm gonna start making custom categories for everybody here. Yeah, if he could perform it, he would. Yes! Walnut, yes! Yes. And that's why Lucrezia was like, I love you, and he was like, yes, that's nice. And also, I feel like, does he have the capacity to love? You know, because we look at things with Sephiroth. I think he loved Sephiroth in the way that he could best. That was not very good. You know, that was a kind of a shitty way. Oh my god, yeah. Next, Aero Ace. I'm sorry that we hate to see bad Aero Ace representation because we don't want to see bad guys, but I do think it's true that he just doesn't have that interest in anybody. Okay. I think this is a hard one for me. Because we're looking at Reno. My first thought is to say gay straight out. But he's also very bisexual. He could also be a straight guy. You know, he's got that rat boy raccoon energy. He could fit anywhere. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's very confusing. He's not questioning. He knows what he is. All right? But he might... Maybe he's closeted. Hear me out. Okay. All right. Hear me out. Maybe he's closeted. Hold on. I gotta make a new Oh, good heavens. I gotta make a new category. All right. I think Reno is closeted poly. Okay, here's why. I believe Reno's the kind of guy who's like, yeah, I get bitches. I love women. But he's also in a homosexual romantic relationship with Rude. And here's how this worked out. And Rude we're gonna put as poly. Rude's not closeted. Rude knows what he is, okay? Rude's bi and poly because he's poly with Reno, obviously. You know what I mean? Here's what happened. I'm gonna paint a picture for you. One night, okay, Reno brought it was like that scene. Okay, you guys know that SNL song where it's like, it's okay when it's in a three-way, it's not gay when it's in a three-way. I believe that there was some girl and she was like, I want both of you, and Reno was like, yeah, I mean, I want to get laid and she's hot, right? And Rude was like, yes, of course. But Rude's also like harbored feelings for Reno for a long time. You know what I mean? So he's like, yeah, whatever. But I believe that when Reno was in bed with Rude and this woman, he was like really into Rude. And I think he's never really admitted that. He's like, ooh, you know what I mean? Like he like started to ignore the woman there and he was like Rude. And I believe that they're in a romantic relationship. He's just not ready to admit it. You know, like Rude would go out and be like, this is my husband Reno. And it's like, whoa, I mean, but then he also, like when he's at his darkest points, he goes to his husband Rude for support, for love, for care. I believe Reno is very insecure. He has an anxious attachment style, you know, and Rude is that steady force for him. He's like a rooted tree, you know what I mean? And like Reno kind of goes around and like maybe they fuck other people, you know what I mean? They're open, they're poly. I don't know if I call it poly, I think I call it open. No, they're like open. Yeah, they're like open poly, closeted. God, this is getting confusing. But no, listen, sexuality is so many things and can be so many things. Who are we to define it? You know what I mean? The life is about discovering who you are, and that can change as you go. I believe that he's yeah, and these guys would also be poly and open, because they want cloud in there. I would say they're not poly committed, they're poly open. You know what I mean? Like they can go with the people, I lied. No, these guys are just poly. Open poly closeted. Jan's right now, I'm blowing Jan's mind right now. Yeah, Fen, you're right. Reno and Rude have been together for 100 years. All right. Rude's in a committed relationship with Reno. Rude is 100% committed to Reno. Reno's like, no, I mean, I'm seeing, you know what I mean? And Rude's okay with that because Rude knows that Reno's kind of going through it. Reno needs to have time to figure this out. That's what I believe. I'm going to stick by it. I think that Reno 100% loves Rude, is not ready to admit that he loves Rude, is not ready to bring Rude into his life that way, but they live together, they sleep together, they do 3-ways together. Rude is in love with Reno. We also know Rude's in love with Tifa a little bit, but I think that Rude is a little bit more loyal. Rude is kind of hoping that Reno will get into Tifa, and then they can be a polyamorous with Reno, Rude, and Tifa, which is also something I'd like to be a part of. Whoa, that's crazy. And I think that's Rude's biggest goal outside of Reno. But if Reno was like, no, I don't want to share you, Rude would be like, of course, babe, of course. Again, Reno's got that insecure attachment style. He goes up and he's like, babe, do you even like me? Babe, I don't even know. And Rude's like, of course I do. But then Reno goes out and he's like, I'm so cool and confident. Fuck everybody. And then he's like a one-night stand. And then he goes back to Rude and he's like, I don't even think she liked me. I don't know. This is exactly how I see them. Yeah, I think that's it. I think Rude is committed to Reno, unless it's a 3-way or it's Tifa. But even then, he'd want Reno to be like, you know, you good with this? You want to be in this with me? And Reno would probably be like, yes, because Reno wants to be with Rude, but is too afraid to have a sexual one-on-one experience with Rude himself. I believe there was a Turk party at the Shinra headquarters. I believe that Reno and Rude got wasted. I believe they explored each other's bodies, and I believe that Reno remembers every bit of it, but was like, oh, that's crazy. No, I don't remember, you know, whatever. And Rude knows he remembers. Rude's not gonna say anything, because he might be named Rude, but he's not Rude. God, it's beautiful. My God. All right. We have so many. I feel like Sephiroth should be the next one. What isn't? I think Sephiroth's fully gay. I feel like Sephiroth is fully a gay man. Here's what I think. I've never seen him with a woman. Until he, spoiler alert, killed Aerith. He's always hanging out with men. He has 2 lovers who were his girlfriends, were Angeal and Genesis. He's obsessed with Cloud. You know what I mean? Yeah, I haven't, Fen is right. I've never seen Sephiroth look at a woman who isn't his mom. But I do believe that he's gay. I don't believe he's bi. I think maybe he had I think he was raised straight. You know what I mean? He was raised as an experiment. And so, you know, of course, Hojo's always like, you have to reproduce, and you know what I mean? And Sephiroth, he's the golden boy. He did what he was told all the time. But I do think He's into men exclusive. Sephiroth's a gay man. I believe he's been with women. I believe he's tried his best. I believe he was like, no, but like he likes men. He doesn't want anything to do with women, to be 100% clear. He likes them. You know, they're nice, they're friends, they're friend-shaped, but, you know, well, I think a lot of women have thrown themselves at Sephiroth. He's the hero, you know what I mean? He's a big deal, Sephiroth. Yeah, you're getting the ad at the bottom of the screen. Editor Brisk, please cut the ad out. Also, if anyone has anything to say to Editor Brisk, please put it in the chat now. If you have any requests for Editor Brisk will be the one editing this together. So anything you want to, like, you know, give him or like torture him with, you know, we love Editor. In fact, we're gonna put Brisk's icon in here. I think we're gonna sort Editor Brisk as well. We have Brisk in the unknown cat. I would put Brisk in questioning, but what he's questioning is where his cats are at the moment, because he doesn't know where they are. Yeah, we're gonna do that. Okay, Editor Brisk. Oh, hold on, let me bring these guys into the pool. These are the bitches I don't care about down here. I was like, I don't know them well enough. Editor Brisk is my favorite Final Fantasy VII character is Editor Brisk, and I think Brisk is questioning. What is he questioning? We don't know. Questioning where his cats are. Questioning his life choices to edit this video.
Honestly, at least it's better than me playing Hangman.
Raging something.
Raging Storm. No, it can't be Raging Storm.
There's
no G at the end. You messed up again. There's
What do
two
you mean?
G's.
Oh!
So
Oh
by
no!
that logic, he shouldn't get it either.
Yeah, I shouldn't get the point there either.
No! I'm so bad at Hangman.
Brisk.
I made sure all the letters were there. I tried so hard, but in the end, none of it mattered.
I tried so
This is great.
hard.
This is fantastic.
That's
I love
pretty
this.
Editor Brisk, send regular Brisk to the Shadow Realm.
Mind crush!
Questioning the things I asked him to edit in the video. Like, for example, right now, can you please put Sephiroth holding Oreo in his arms, also with big red lips on his face? Thank you, Editor Brisk. The thing about Brisk Apollo, he's got nothing but questions.
First question is gonna go to Kelly. In the first Kingdom Hearts games tutorial, you are presented with 3 pedestals with a rod, a sword, and a shield. Which of these options is on the right side pedestal? Kelly's freaking out so much that her mic's not even picking up.
He's always like, what? You know what I mean? Always. So, Editor Brisk, my favorite Final Fantasy VII character. Can we skip to the 45-minute argument about Genesis? Okay, all right. Yeah, we can go to Genesis if you want. Jan, I'll do that for you. But that's a hard one. So hear me out. He's a theater kid. There's not a lot of straight theater kids. There are bi theater kids. There are pan theater kids. There are some straight theater kids. But I do believe that him and Sephiroth and Angeal were in love with each other at one point. So, this is hard for me. This is difficult. My obvious answer is bi. But, yeah, I guess bi. But I'm leaning more towards gay, actually. I don't know. I can't see him with a woman because he couldn't be with anybody prettier than he is. And that's why him and Sephiroth have beef. It's not about the Genova cells. It's not about who's the best. It's because Sephiroth is prettier than Genesis. And that's why Genesis has beef with him. You know? I feel like he's married to the hustle. Yeah. Oh! Wait a minute. I think you're right. He's like Shakespeare sexual. You know? Like, he only wants it to be classic theater or not. And if you kiss during a performance, he's allowed it. But if it's not for the art of it, I think that's what okay. All right, add a row below. Hold on, we gotta give it a new color. And we're gonna say Shakespeare sexual. And I think that is 100% what Genesis is. I think he's just... Jan, damn, I think you're right. That was a good clock right there. That was a good one. Yeah, no, he wants the show. You know what I mean? He wants... I know you're gonna have so many columns at the end of this. But yeah, Genesis he's there for the show. He would full on No, but he's like Shia LaBeouf. Okay? So you know, like, there's that one movie Shia LaBeouf did where he was like, babe, I have to actually have sex with her to make it an authentic performance, right? He's a method actor. So if there was a sex scene, he's gonna be like, there. He's gonna be like, we gotta do it for real. You know what I mean? He's an attention sexual. Yes. He's a porn star, perhaps. You know? He likes the attention. He likes, yeah. But nothing is ever really enough for him. Because his true love is the theater. And nothing's ever been better for him than that. Oh god, we need another closeted. Hold on. We're gonna go with regular closeted. And that's gonna be Angeal. Angeal is closeted. Angeal's closeted. I think he's gay fully. But again, we got the small town life. We've got the like, you know, no, wait, hold on. You made a good point, Fen. A good musical. Genesis would want to play Mariah Reynolds in Hamilton, but he would be like, we have to have sex and cheat on your wife, Hamilton, on stage for the drama. And Hamilton would probably be Sephiroth. And then Aaron Burr would probably be Angeal. Whoa. Guys, should we do a second one of these where we rank the Final Fantasy VII characters on what Hamilton character they would play? Wait a minute! I'm onto something here! Okay, if we have time, we're gonna Hamilton-fy everybody here. Oh my god. Okay, yeah, Angeal's closeted. Is he closeted on advertising? I believe he's closeted because I think because he has all this like honor and like, you know, like he has a lot of like these moral, I feel like religious standards, you know what I mean? Like he was raised a certain way where he doesn't think it's okay. That said, he has kissed both Genesis and Sephiroth. That said, he's always looked at women respectfully and like, you know, women have come on to him and he's like, oh, that's so nice. And he tells himself, no, I'm not acting on it because of my honor, because I'm a, you know what I mean? But it's not because of that at all. It's because he isn't a man. But he can never admit it. I think the day he died, he can never admit it. I think that's why Zack Fair is so confused. Okay? I think the reason Zack Fair is an open bisexual, because he saw what Angeal was. That was his dad. And he was like, that's just the way things are. That's normal. And he's such a puppy that he was like, yeah! We like men and women and they thems. I love it! You know? And he just jumped in the bag. Where Angeal was like, no, Zack, we don't like men. What are you talking about? And Zack's like, it's okay, Dad. It's okay. But then Angeal was like, I'm not gonna correct it. Yeah, also sword sexual, Fen. I think also sword sexual for sure. Okay, so we can obviously put Zack in bisexual. Zack doesn't think about it too much, as we know, and we love about Zack. Zack is all about love and feelings. You know, if Zack loves you, it doesn't matter what you present as, what you identify as. Zack is there to support you and love you. Zack is the best boy. If you were like in a relationship and you were like, I need to come out and I think I'm trans or non-binary, you know what I mean, and we've been together, Zack would be like, let's fucking go! He'd be thrilled. He would just want to be with you. He doesn't care. He just cares that it's you. You know, he just loves you. I believe that Zack, like, is just, his heart is too big, which was his problem. You know, it's too full of love. I believe that if he could, I think he's poly, but only in a specific situation. If it was polyamorous between Aerith, him, and Cloud. Because he does love Aerith, but he does love Cloud. You know what I mean? I think he's with Aerith first, so he's gonna stay loyal. But I think Aerith's a freak, as we know. And Aerith would be the one to be like, hey. And Aerith's also into Tifa, so that's how we get the 4 polyamorous together. Because Zack's just there to love. Aerith's a freak. Tifa wants to like make everyone get along, and Cloud's confused and will go along with anything. Okay, I'm gonna say you might not like this one. You may not like this. I think Vincent Valentine's a straight man. I know! It's like, how could you say that to me? I know. But I think he's straight. And because I don't believe, I mean, he was so hung up on Lucrezia. You know what I mean? Like, no, like, he has no self-esteem or self-worth. Like every straight man I've met. I love you, straight men. But, you know. But he does have that kind of unearned confidence to, like, sleep in a coffin and think it's cool. He has that kind of unearned confidence to wear what he wears and think he looks good. He has the unearned confidence to not brush his hair for 100 years and be like, that's just how it is, babe. You know, I think he's, yeah, Fenn's right. He's straight, but he never moved on from his high school crush. Never, ever, ever. I believe, like, we could even say he's Lucrezia sexual if we wanted to. But I believe that he's so hung up. I don't know. I can't see him. I mean, yeah, I should have disclaimed this at the beginning. These are all just, like, for fun headcanon. So if you have a different headcanon, oh my god, yes, absolutely have it. Every headcanon is so fun and I love it. I know there's, like, the Vincent Sephiroth or this Vincent Sid ship and everything. You know, that could be it. He could be bi. But he just gives straight man vibes to me. We've watched Advent Children. He doesn't know how to use a cell phone. He doesn't answer the phone or pick up the phone. You know what I mean? Like, classic straight guy shit. Like, he's who Sabrina Carpenter made the song Man-Child about, where she's like, your phone is dead, no, you just forgot to charge it. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like he's, yeah. And he's emo. I think he's committed to the bit in the same way that Genesis is, where he's emo sexual. Like, he's never gonna have Lucrezia. That's all he wanted. You know, he's a straight man, and I believe that he just, yeah, that's it. That's all I gotta say. All right, we're gonna go with Tifa. Tifa, easy, bisexual. I don't think Tifa knew she was bisexual until she met Aerith, but I don't think she's in the closet anymore. I think Tifa was like, yeah, I'm straight, I'm into Cloud, I'm into men, and then Aerith batted her pretty eyelashes, and Tifa was like, oh my god, whoa. And I think that's Aerith's effect on most people, to be completely fair. I think that she, again, I think she's not in the closet anymore. I think once they left Midgar and were on their journeys together, I feel like Aerith, like, had a really open talk with her, being like, hey, Tifa, it's okay. And Tifa was like, maybe it is okay, Aerith. And they smooched a little bit, you know what I mean? But she's into Cloud, she's into Aerith. I believe that, again, Tifa is similar to Zack in the way that she's all about love. She's about loving people. She's about, like, you know, regardless of who you are, how you identify, she's like, yeah, yeah. And then Aerith is also gonna go in the bisexual. Actually, I'm gonna make a new row for Aerith. Hold on. Aerith is gonna go in the chaotic bisexual section. I believe that she's a bisexual, but I believe she's also a problem and a threat. I think that absolutely bi, you know what I mean? She sings the bye bye bye, but it's like her pride song. She loves men, she loves women, she loves they thems. I think Aerith is like kind of about the experience, you know, it's funny because Aerith is so open. I feel like call myself up, but I relate to her because she seems so open, but then she's very closed actually, and she's like, okay, ha ha ha, I'm actually freaked out, don't get too involved with me. You know, it's hard for her to actually be vulnerable even though she's so out in the open, which is why I think it's easier for her to flirt and get into kind of situations, but when it comes to the emotional part, she really needs a partner who's gonna like help her to open up and feel safe and let her have a little bit of a breakdown. You know, I do think she's into Cloud and Zack and Tifa and maybe even more, okay? I believe she's a little freak. But I think she has more emotional reserves than other people. But yeah, chaotic bisexual, flirts with anybody, down for most things. I don't think she's poly. I think she might be for the Cloud and Tifa triangle. I think that she would be maybe into that. But I think she wants one person to really love and to cherish her, that she can love and cherish. Because it is hard for her to open up. Yeah, healer in the streets, freaking the sheets. Omega gets it. Right, Barrett. God, Barrett I think is also a straight man. And there's nothing wrong with that. You know, there's nothing wrong with him being a straight man. I just believe that he likes women. I believe that he, in college, you know, he, like, you know, like someone hit on him and he was like, whoa! But he gave it a chance and he was like, no, I'm actually not. You know, he's open-minded. He's accepting. He's an ally. He's an ally for sure. Might be even demi-romantic. You know what I mean? Like, he can't fall in love again without that strong emotional connection. I could see that as well. But I definitely see, yeah, I see him as straight. Don Corneo is, I want to say questioning or bi. I don't think he's questioning anymore. I think he questioned for a minute. He questioned for 1 second when Cloud undressed, but then he was like, whoa, I'm really into this. Don Corneo thought he was straight his whole life. Don Corneo was only to women until Cloud Strife. a very common Cloud type experience. Cloud is that guy, TM. But I do think that he's bi now. I think Don Corneo is 100% out, and like wherever he is now in the world of Midgar, he's out there and he's like looking for men and women. But he's only into scrawny twinks. Okay, he's not into buff guys, not into bears. He's got a type, you know what I mean? Aerith's mom, I'm gonna say Aerith's mom is straight gay. Straight gay, that's not right. No, is just straight up gay, I should say. No, she was married to a man, wasn't she? I'm gonna say questioning then. I'm gonna say that she loved her husband so much, you know, he was lost in the war, very tragic, very sad. But I think that, like, one of the reasons she's never been able to move on is because she's kind of, like, into women. You know what I mean? And now she's got Aerith, and that's kind of how she moved on. I think she has a lesbian lover in town. I think that her and this lesbian lover in town both are, they're keeping it on the down low. You know what I mean? Maybe it's the kindergarten school orphanage teacher lady. Could be that lady. I wouldn't be surprised. I think she's got a low down lesbian relationship, but like they both have their own life commitments. Brisk died at war. Yeah, Brisk was her husband actually. Brisk went to fight in the Wutai War and he died. He died at war. He was married to Aerith's mom. Actually, fun fact about Editor Brisk, most people don't know, he was married before. You know, it's actually crazy. I'm dropping a lot of Brisk lore today. But yeah, look, now they're together again. So Editor Brisk, can I get a heart between these guys? Thank you. All right, I gotta go with Johnny. I'm also gonna go with chaotic bisexual for Johnny. Johnny and Aerith, you know what I mean? Johnny, again, kind of falls into, no, I'm gonna put him in questioning maybe. Questioning or chaotic bisexual. Because I do think Johnny has a lean towards women, but I do believe Johnny, like, again, would be, like, down. You know what I mean? Johnny just needs to be needed. He wants to be wanted. He needs to be cared for and appreciated. And he has a big heart. He wants to give it to someone. And a big... You get it. I don't know. Bi, chaotic bi, questioning. I could see questioning, though, for a couple of reasons. One, he's very confused. You know, as a dude, he's very, very confused. He doesn't seem to know what's going on ever. Really, he's swindled a lot. So he's questioning that way and the way he's questioning life. And I also think... God, what the fuck is this stream? I also think that he's questioning because he would be down. You know what I mean? Like, for a pretty boy, a pretty girl. Yeah. Okay, we'll put Brisk in the middle. Brisk, congratulations. This is your boyfriend. This is your girlfriend, so your wife, and you're dead. That's how it goes sometimes. Who do we want to do next? Chat, who should we do next? The cat? Catchy? Chaotic bisexual. Easy. If you don't know who Catchy is, you know, then spoilers, look it up. But absolutely chaotic bisexual. I would actually, we're making a new category. He's environment sexual. He gets off to the environment. You know, he's all about, like, you plant a tree and he's like, yes! You bike to work, he's like, yes! You know what I mean? He's all about saving the environment. I think that, like, it's kind of like Genesis, where Genesis is Shakespeare sexual. You know what I mean? Like, Catchy and Reeve would do what needed to be done to protect the environment. Okay, I think Rufus Shinra, God, I got such a long list here. Rufus Shinra, I feel like it's just straight up gay. You know what I mean? And the reason I think he's just gay versus bi or questioning or poly, have you seen his dogs? You know? Like, I don't know. It just speaks to me. He's you know what I mean? He just gives gay vibes. I believe that, like, he's got an arranged marriage because of who he is and the role he plays in Shinra and the company. But I believe he's a gay man. Elrina, I'm gonna say I'm leaning towards straight, but I'm also leaning towards Arrow Ace. I think I'm gonna go with Arrow Ace for Elrina. Because, again, she's all about the work, you know what I mean? I believe she has a lot of love in her, but she just doesn't have that, like, romantic or sexual attractions going on, you know what I mean? She's dedicated to, like, you know, maybe she saves cats or something. Or like, you know what I mean? She's traveling a lot. She's always on the road. She's always got somewhere to be. I think that like she just doesn't feel those things. You know what I mean? She just has never had that sexual or romantic attraction, and she's okay with it. She's our positive arrow ace representation, whereas Hojo's our negative arrow ace representation. Yeah, I that's what I think. I think she's arrow ace, and I think she just never had that, and she's okay with it. She's come to terms with it. You know what I mean? She's never yearned for it, so she's like, okay, that's cool, that's fine. I believe. Oh God. Hold on, we gotta make a new category. We gotta make a new category! This is gonna be the asexual category. This is just asexual. Because I think that Sung is asexual. I think Sung is asexual 100%. I think Sung feels romantic attraction. But I do think he's just full asexual. I don't think he has those needs or desires. Because obviously we know he's in love with Aerith, right? He's been in love with Aerith for a long time. But I do think, you know, besides the professional aspect and everything going on, I think one of the reasons he's never really acted on that or made a move is because he's asexual. And obviously, she's a freak in the sheets, and I think he's intimidated by that. I think he wants her, I think he loves her, but I think that, like, he doesn't want her that way. Like, he would, like, wife her up, but, like, you know, he's just not, he's not interested, you know? He'd do it, maybe, you know what I mean? But like, you know, I don't know. But maybe I'm wrong, though, because he is really in love with Aerith, and it is really creepy sometimes. He is pretty creepy. And that is indicative behavior of a straight man. You know what I mean? Like, to be a little stalkery, little sniffing things, you know? So I don't know, but, you know, I'm gonna stick with asexual because I do think that... I think he's asexual. I do. I'm gonna... How many categories do we start with? God, I don't even know. How many are we at? We're at too many categories. Scarlet, for sure, is a mean lesbian. And I won't be taking notes. She doesn't even want anything to do with men, even as friends. She works with them because she has to, but she only likes women, and she wants women who want women. But she's specifically really judgmental. Like, if you're in your experimental stage as a lesbian or like a bisexual, like, I don't know, she's like, don't waste my time. Don't waste my time. I believe she has a bunch of bitches on, like, speed dial. I mean, look at her. I mean, you know what I mean? That love her, and maybe they want a committed relationship from her, but she's not that person. God. What can I and can I not say on stream? She wants the physical and the admiration. I think she respects women and doesn't respect men, which we see because she literally uses men as footstools. I believe she sees men as, like, dirt, you know what I mean, as little, like, gremlins, as, like, you know what Gollum looks like in Lord of the Rings? That's what all men look like to her, and that's why she uses them as, like, footstools and serving trays and boss them around. I believe that she wants a pretty princess girlfriend. She wants a needy, demanding, pretty princess girlfriend who she can spoil, because she's like, yes, you deserve that, girl queen, pussy boss. Yeah, it's very different, and everyone's like, whoa, Scarlet's like, why you're so, like, generous with her, you're so, you know what I mean? That's Scarlet's, like, person. I don't know if Scarlet really loves her as much as that's Scarlet's, like, trophy girlfriend, you know? And then the girlfriend, Scarlet is the girlfriend's sugar mama. But it works for both of them, because both of them are not emotionally available, you know what I mean? But what they have going on, they're both enjoying. Sid also strikes me as straight man. I could be wrong. You could argue with me here. He just gets straight man vibes. You know what I mean? I don't really have a good argument here. I don't really have a good reason except that he just seems straight. Again, you know, I know there's lots of, you know, ships out there and everything, but, like, I don't know. I don't see it. I don't see him. I can see him hitting on a woman. I can see him going out of his way to be, you know what I mean? But I don't know that I see... I think if a man approached him, he'd be like, whoa! But he'd think about it. But he wouldn't do it. You know? He's got other priorities. He's got a ship. He's married to his ship. Hold on. We should make another category. He's ship sexual. I think that's what it is. He only cares about his ship. I think he had his one great love. You know, it was good. He enjoyed it. It was a great time for him. Named his ship after her, and now all he cares about is that ship. And... you know what I mean? And, like, people have probably hit on him because he's eligible bachelor, but he's like, no, this is where my focus is. Red 13 I think. Red 13 is questioning. Congratulations, Editor Brisk. Can we get a Let's Go Pro Gamers in the chat for Editor Brisks, who has a husband, a wife, and a dog? My God, Editor Brisk, we're making you a whole family here.
Take that dog.
Yeah, I think Red 13 is questioning. For many reasons. One, he's the only one of his species that he knows of. Two, there's a lot of stuff going on out here. You know what I mean? Three, is there a third thing? I don't think he's had a chance to think about what his sexuality is versus just how to survive and where he's gonna go and he's gonna live for a long time. And is there anyone like him out there? You know what I mean? So I'm gonna say, yeah, he's baby. He's questioning. Maybe not even questioning. He's just not thinking. There hasn't been that moment where he's been like, yeah, I should stop and think about this. There's been no time. Oh, that's Cloud's mom. Ha 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 ha. Just kidding. This is Aerith's mom. I lied. Hey, Editor Brisk, can you change this so it was Aerith's mom the entire time and not Cloud's mom so I don't look like a fucking idiot? Thanks, Editor Brisk. Thank you, Editor Brisk. Cloud's mom is closeted. Closeted bisexual. I think that we should get a Cloud is if she was a bisexual. I think that, you know, that's how it happened. That's how it worked. She was with a man, obviously. She had no preference either way. So she was, you know, happy. And lastly, I think we gotta make a new category. I think Yuffie is materia sexual. I'm leaning between if she would be bi or straight, but I think it's about the materia for her. We are living in a materia world and she is a materia girl. I think that, and she's also young, you know what I mean? She doesn't really have an interest in like that kind of stuff at this point. You know what I mean? She's got shit to do. You know? She's got shit to do. Yeah, I think that she doesn't have an interest. Maybe she's Arrow Ace, actually. I wouldn't be surprised if she's materia sexual / Arrow / Ace. You know what I mean? I wouldn't be surprised if that was also how she's presenting, because I feel like she thinks it's just gonna happen and it'll happen when it happens, but she's not putting that much thought into it, at least at this point. But she's definitely into the materia, and she would, you know, if you're like, I'll give you some materia if you kiss me, she'd be like, I don't care who you are, I'll kiss you, I want that materia. You know what I mean? I think that's where we're at. So this is our list. Man, look at this. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at the full list. It's beautiful. Okay, we got our straight guys, Vincent and Barrett. We got our gays, Sephiroth, Rufus Shinra, and Scarlet. We got Cloud, who's our closeted bi-ace demi person. We've got our bisexuals, Zack, Tifa, and Don Corneo. Our arrow aces with Hojo and Elrina. Our asexuals with Sung. Our polyamorous people with Jesse, Biggs, Wedge, and Rude. Our questioning people with Johnny, Editor Brisk, Aerith's mom, and Red 13. Our closeted poly open relationship with Reno. Our Shakespeare sexual with Genesis. Our closeted with Angeal and Cloud's mom. Our chaotic bisexual and Aerith. Our environment sexual with Kachi. Our ship sexual with Sid. And our materia sexual / arrow / ace with Yuffie. Guys, I feel like we did it. We really did it today. We really, wow. I'm proud of us. I feel like we made a difference in the world. You know, like, they say be the change you want to see, and this is it. This is amazing. This is probably one of the most beautiful things I've ever created. I love it. Well, thank you for joining me today, guys. Thank you so much. This has been amazing. Oh wait, we could still go into the Hamilton cast if we wanted to. Wait, how do I rank this? Hold on. We said Hamilton is Genesis. Genesis is not throwing my shot. He's busy. He's causing problems. He's writing essays. He's making drama. He's a shit poster, right? Which is what Hamilton would be in today's day and age. I think that Genesis is Hamilton. He's ambitious to a fault. I think Angeal is Aaron Burr of wait for it. You know, wait for it, your honor, do the right thing. Thomas Jefferson is Sephiroth. That is Alexander Hamilton's really true foe. Aaron Burr is his frenemy throughout it, but Thomas Jefferson is his true foe throughout this entire experience. You know what I mean? That's the only one who really takes him down. And I believe that Genesis could never beat Sephiroth. Hear me out? I'm hearing. I'm listening. Oh, Mega, that's so sad! What the fuck? Who hurt you? Who But you're right. John Lawrence is the one who is like, I want to help people, I want to feed people. He's also a little freak, as we know, and he dies because he's trying to do the right thing even in the end when they already won the war. I feel like Eliza kind of has to be Tifa. Are we getting Eliza vibes from Tifa as well, or am I totally off there? Yuffie's definitely Lafayette, you know what I mean? Yeah. How you say anarchy? Yeah. Where's Cloud gonna be? Would Cloud be Peggy? I feel like Cloud would be Peggy, where he's like along for the ride and doesn't have a lot of agency, you know what I mean? But he's like happy to be there sometimes, at other times. Yeah, I'm gonna say Cloud is Peggy. Big Peggy energy. Complains the whole time, but does it. James Madison is Vincent Valentine. You know? Like the, you know what I mean? The guy who's coughing in Act 2 all the time, very serious. You know what I mean? But Vincent could also be Death pretty easily. Hercules Mulligan's easy. Barrett. Big, bold energy. You know what I mean? That's just a given. Who would be King George? Would that be Rufus Shinra? I feel like it would. Da 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 da. Mariah Reynolds is Reno, and then James Reynolds, who extorts Hamilton, is Rude, but they were in on it together. Where, like, you know, Rude's like, you can keep seeing my whore wife if the price is right, and Reno's whore. As we know, I think that's where they're Mariah and James Reynolds for sure. George Washington, that's a big one. George Washington. Oh, Lazard! I could see that. Or alternatively, I could see it as Reeve. I could see this as Reeve. You know, one last time, doing the right thing. I might go with Reeve. Angelica Schuyler. I get Angelica vibes maybe from Jessie. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Jessie, because Jessie's kind of, you know, got that flirtiness, but also she's ride or die. It would be Zack Fair. I think Philip Hamilton is Zack Fair, because he goes to bat for a reason that maybe is wrong, but he believes in his dad so much. You know what I mean? He believes what he's told, and he wants it to be true bad enough that he, you know, Philip Hamilton, he's gonna defend his dad with honor. He's a little bit scared, a little bit freaked out, but he's gonna do it. John Adams, who they're like doesn't have a real job anyway. Who's that guy? Palmer. He'd be Palmer for sure. Samuel Seabury, he's the guy who comes in and he's like, please, the king says this and you better listen to him. Please listen to the king. Who would that be? Who's like totally brainwashed? Maybe Sung, actually. I think Sung's totally brainwashed. I'm a little bit of a Sung hater right now. But I feel like Sung is the one who's like, he knows it's wrong, but he's doing it anyway. Bullet Betrayal. Oh, I like that. Because it's passed on, everyone dies. I'm gonna say Charles Lee is Hojo, because Hojo is the one who, like, shits the bed at the Battle of Mom, you know what I mean? Like, he's a problem. And then George Eaker, God. Who do we have left in the Shinra Corporation? Maybe that could be Hollander. Okay, yeah. All right. Now presenting Hamilton, performed by the cast of Final Fantasy VII. This was a lot of fun. Oh my god. Okay, thank you so much for being here today. I tried something new, and I think we should definitely keep doing this. I also think the next one should be ranking the Animal Crossing characters based on who is most likely to call you a slur. Because I think that some of them are assholes, and we need to call them out on it, you know? I think that could be fun. We could do the Heartless Smasher Pass. We could do, I mean, there's so much we could do. If you have suggestions of things I should rank, put them in the chat. Put them in the Discord. I will write them down.
Give me a Y.
A Y? There's no Y.
MC.
God, I see what you.
Yes, we did it.
This
Sole
guy.
reason I guessed Y.
This guy.
Fantastic kindergarten humor, by the way.
Got him. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more.